The Globe had 3 stories of seating and was able to hold up to 3,000 spectators in its 100-foot diameter. The Globe Theatre box office. When the play started, the entrance men went out and put the boxes in a room backstage. The Elizabethan box office, hence the term box office, which is still used in modern theaters. Wages were paid to the men who worked in the theater, the backstage boys, and the actors. Additional money was earned by leasing out the theater. Profits were then shared between the owners of the theater, called the housekeepers. The stage. The dimensions of the Globe stage cannot be specified. Stage dimensions of Elizabethan theaters varied from 20 foot wide, 15 foot deep, to 45 feet to 30 feet. The stage was raised 3 to 5 feet and supported by large pillars. The floor of the stage was made of wood and sometimes covered with rushes. Trapdoors in the stage floor would enable some special effects, such as smoke. At the rear of the stage there was a roofed house-like structure supported by 2 large columns. At the base of the stage was an area called the pit, which held the groundlings, otherwise known as people who pay just a penny to stand and watch a performance. Part of the stage was called the apron stage, a rectangular platform that thrusted out amongst the audience into the pit. The stage was called the Franz Scene, taken from Latin. It was situated behind the pillars. The Franz Scene was taken from the name given by Imperial Rome to the stage walls of their amphitheaters. There was a doorway to the left and right, and a curtained central doorway from which the actors made their entrances. Above the door area was the highly decorative screen. Backstage. The stage wall structure contained at least 2 doors, which led to a small structure backstage called the tiring house. The stage wall was covered by a curtain. The actors used this area to change into their attire. Thus it was called the tiring house. The hut above the tiring house was a small house-like structure called the hut, complete with a roof. The hut was used as a cover storage space for the acting troupe. The entrance to the Globe Theatre. There was usually one main entrance. Some later theaters had external staircases in their structure to access the galleries. A crest above the main entrance to the Globe Theatre was inscribed with the motto Totus Mundus Agit Historianum, Latin for "The whole world is a playhouse." Outside of the Globe Theatre, colored flags were used to advertise the type of play to be performed. A red flag for a history play, a white flag for a comedy play, and a black flag for a tragedy play. Hell in the Globe Theatre. The Globe Theatre was designed to include some provisions to produce special effects. The trapdoors were built in the floor of the stage, called Hell, and in the stage ceiling, the heavens. The height of the stage was 5 feet, so the area beneath the stage was easily big enough to hold both actors and props. This area underneath the stage was given the title Hell. Some props or special effects could therefore be entranced or exited via the trapdoors. Actors could appear and disappear via the stage trapdoors. The roof supported by pillars behind the stage was known as the heavens. The heavens served to create an area hidden from the audience. This area provided a place for actors to hide. A selection of ropes and rigging would allow for special effects such as flying or dramatic entries. The upstairs of the Globe Theatre. The stage gallery above the stage wall was called the Lord's Room, used by the rich members of the audience, the upper classes, and the nobility. Immediately above the stage wall was the stage gallery, which was used by actors, Juliet's balcony. The Lord's Room were considered the best seats in the house, despite the poor view of the back of the actors. The cost was 5 pence, and a cushioned seat were provided for these elite members of the audience. There were additional balconies on the left and on the right of the Lord Room, which were called the Gentlemen's Rooms. These seats were for rich patrons of the Globe Theatre, and the cost was 4d, for which cushioned seats were provided. The grounds and sale of food around the Globe Theatre. The grounds surrounding the theatre would have been bustling with people. There would be stalls selling merchandise and refreshments, creating a market day atmosphere. Biscuits were invented by the Crusaders. These were easy to carry and make and would have been taken to the theatre. The ploughman's lunch consisted of bread and cheese, was a staple diet of lower class workers. Pastries and pies were sold in the stalls outside the theatre. There would have been men cooking meat on a portable spit, so it was possible to buy ready-cooked roasted meat.